look, he's really tall and people bang on him and they say, oh, well, Zach Edey, the only reason he scores is because he's 8'8". Okay, also he's 8'8". And who cares? Because he's really tall. He's also really skilled, and he's awesome at basketball. What's up, everybody? Nick Kostos here with the Board of Spreads, a.k.a. it's not really a bracket anymore. There's 2 games left. So we'll call it the Board of Spreads today with picks for the national championship game coming up tonight. That's right, taping this on Monday morning. You're watching it on Monday afternoon and Monday evening, making this a time paradox of some kind. But coming up tonight, it's UConn and Purdue, the matchup that we all deserve. And what a weekend in college basketball. The matchup that we all deserve. We get it in the women's game. South Carolina covering against Iowa. Just my opinion, is Caitlin Clark the GOAT? No, because Iowa didn't cover the spread yesterday against South Carolina, and I lost money. But in all seriousness, great season for Caitlin Clark. Great women's national championship game. Iowa-South Carolina was the best game we could have gotten, and we get the best game that we could have gotten on the men's side also, with Connecticut against Purdue for the right to win the national championship. For UConn, if they win, back-to-back titles for Danny Hurley and the Huskies. And we're going to roll through all the bets for tonight's game. We'll hit the props, and I'm going to tell you whether the point total goes over or under, and who's going to cover the spread in the game, which honestly, we should all know already, because UConn covers every single spread ever. So it's going to be UConn. We'll talk about why in a second. But let's start here with the race to 15. And candidly, it's one of my favorite bets. I've been making race to 15 bets for a long time. Been betting on sports for 20 years. One of the best bets to make, one of the most fun bets to make, especially if you're at the sports book. But look, you're watching at home, this can be a great bet also. And it's generally, the way that I like to play these race to 15s is to bet the underdog, because you could get a situation where a favorite can win a game, like a 40-minute college basketball game, can win the game by 20, but the other team could get up to a 15-12 lead to start before the favorite kind of puts the pedal to the metal and blows the other team out. I don't think that's really the case with UConn. UConn has gone first to 15 in every NCAA tournament game thus far this tournament, and I think Purdue's awesome. And look, there's a case to be made that Purdue can get there, and if I'm betting this, I'm only betting Purdue. I'm not laying minus 175 with UConn. What if Purdue's up 15-14 to start the game? I still think UConn wins the game by double digits, but there's a chance that Purdue starts hot early, a couple outside shots, maybe UConn feeling the nerves a little bit. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's possible. And laying minus 175, not something that I feel great about. So if I'm betting this, the race to 15, I'm only taking Purdue, but I don't have to bet it. So I'm not going to. The choice, dear viewer, is yours. Let's talk about some player props for tonight. Now, Donovan Clingan, who I think is probably going to win most outstanding player in the tournament if and when UConn wins tonight. Clingan's points prop, 13.5. Tristan Newton at 15.5. UConn's got so many awesome players. We could have had this list stacked with guys, Cam Spencer, Alex Caravan, etc. Kind of hard to pick out for UConn who we think is going to have a monster game. It really could be anyone on any given night. Braden Smith, one of the outside shooting guards for Purdue, 10.5 points. Let's talk about the big guy, the reigning 2-time defending National Player of the Year, Zach Edey. And let's be clear, I don't think Purdue's going to win tonight. But if Purdue does win, Zach Edey puts himself into the pantheon of greatest players in the history of college basketball. He will add a national championship again to reigning 2-time National Player of the Year. And I think Zach Edey's going to come to play. Now, look, he's really tall and people bang on him and they say, oh, well, Zach Edey, the only reason he scores is because he's 8'8". Okay, also he's 8'8". And who cares? Because he's really tall. He's also really skilled, and he's awesome at basketball. And I know that Zach Edey under 24.5 is going to be a contrarian bet. This is juiced to the under at BetMGM. People think Zach Edey not going to have a great game. That Donovan Clingan, who's probably going to be a better NBA player than Zach Edey. That Donovan Clingan can physical Zach Edey in a way that Edey has not seen throughout the balance of this season or even last season for the vast majority of his time in Purdue. But for me, Zach Edey's final game at Purdue. Zach Edey's going to touch the ball, and if he doesn't touch the ball on every possession, Matt Painter should go to prison. Zach Edey's going to touch the ball a ton in this game. He's just too good. I really respect Donovan Clingan. I think Clingan's awesome. Holding Zach Edey to 27 points in a must-win game, I think is probably a win for Connecticut. So let's go over 24.5 points for Zach Edey. Too much respect for Zach Edey, even if I think UConn wins and covers, to think Edey's going to have a bad game. Over 24.5 points for Zach Edey. Talk the total now, 145.5. Now, UConn's been winning tons of games, and a lot of these games are going under. A lot of the UConn games are going under. They're winning in blowout fashion, which shows you just how dominant the Huskies have been throughout this NCAA tournament. So I think people will see this point total and say, well, let's play into that, right? That maybe this game goes under the total also. In the immortal words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Where was Stone Cold, by the way, at WrestleMania? That would have been nice if he came out. We're going to go over 145.5 because both of these offenses are awesome. And again, I love Klingon. Is Klingon really going to shut down Zach Edey? I love UConn in the game. I think this goes over the total. I think we're looking at something like an 82-70 final score in favor of the Huskies. It's the 152. That would get us over 145.5. So let's go over the total with UConn and Purdue. And that takes us to the final time. It's sad. It is, right? We love college hoops, love betting on it. The final time this college basketball season to bet on the side of the game. Connecticut has been bet out to a 7.5-point favorite. And for people that are just seeing this now, maybe you looked over the weekend. So 6.5 basically once it opened, sat at 6.5 on Sunday. Now up at 7.5 on Monday morning in favor of the Huskies, and maybe Purdue takes a little money as we approach tip-off. Maybe UConn gets bet a little more, but as we tape right now, Connecticut, a 7.5-point favorite. And it is a big number, obviously, given the fact that Purdue has been one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the country all season. But here's the thing. It actually doesn't matter. And I would say, I'm almost 41 years old, and I've had a lot of life experiences, had a lot of fun things in my life. Gonna have a kid soon, got married, great times with friends, a lot of great professional achievements, fun times as a kid. I think that there is nothing in my life that has given me more pure, unbridled joy than betting on the University of Connecticut this year in men's college basketball. Do you know how fun it was on Saturday night to lay 11.5 or 10.5 or whatever it was, because Bama got steamed, people knew the final score of the game. How'd that go for everyone? Betting against UConn on Saturday night, where you got literally, Alabama plays the game it did on Saturday night against 98% of modern Final Four teams, and Bama wins. Bama wins that game. Not only did Bama not win, they lost by 14. That's how good Connecticut is. And I said it last week. Connecticut's like Patrick Mahomes, which is a ridiculous comparison because Mahomes is a player and UConn's a team. But I think people understand. Think of UConn like they're the Chiefs. Think of UConn like they are the Tom Brady Patriots. Think about UConn like it is a fait accompli, like it's basically done. And when it comes down to it, do you really want to have money on Purdue in this game? And then UConn wins by 20, and you feel like the biggest moron alive for betting against Connecticut. I don't want that on my conscience. I want to wake up tomorrow morning on Tuesday morning and look at myself in the mirror and know I either won with the best or lost with the best. So for one final time, we ride with the Huskies. We ride with Connecticut. Really? You want to bet Purdue? Grow up. We'll lay the 7.5 with UConn, and we will win because UConn covers the spread in every single game that they play in the tournament. And that does it for the Board of Spreads presented by BetMGM for the NCAA Tournament. You got time still. Log on to the BetMGM app, set up an account on BetMGM.com, place your bets for the national championship game and moving forward with the king of sportsbooks.